Hello and welcome again to another Artist of the Week. This week's featured artist is Succubus Empusa. How are you doing today?
I'm just peachy. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Succubus has been nice enough to come on the show today and tell us a little bit about herself. Without further ado, let's get right on into it. The first question I have here for you is, how long have you been into art?
It depends on how you define been into. I've been drawing since they gave me a crayon in preschool and they said, oh, look, she has talent. She actually drew the reflection from the window on the apple. So I've been drawing a really long time and I've discovered that I am, by pure virtue of age, I've been at it longer than most people have been alive in the fandom.
How have you learned to create art? Have you had any professional training, that sort of thing?
Actually, yes. I had some fine arts training and commercial art training when I was in high school and in college the first couple of times.
Okay, interesting. How did ponies come up? How did you get into pony art?
We can blame my very good friend Shinzin for that. And he dragged both myself and the artist of Stalkerloo and the artist of Meanie Bell Tumblrs into it going, hey guys, I'm doing this. Why don't we all collaborate in this big giant thing and do it all together? We're like, okay, sounds like fun. Let's do it.
Tell us a little bit about this big giant thing. Who's all involved?
There is, of course, Shinzum, who does an Ask Rainbow Dash blog. Aphex, who does the Ask Stalkerloo blog. There is Pembroke W. Corgi, who does the Meanie Bell blog. Myself, I do a couple members of the Apple family. And we've had interactions with a couple of other people. R.I. Perils, who does the Ipsy Witch blog, and a few others. We just collaborate and go back and forth.
Okay. Why did you choose the Apple family for what you wanted to do?
Because they closely resemble the sheer size of my own family.
I guess moving on here real quick. How have ponies changed how you think as an artist, or have they?
They've actually helped me improve with a sense of placement and proportion, because drawing the different figures and positions and trying for more dynamic angles than they do in the show actually made me think about where things go a little bit more in placement, as in reference to where you draw humans or humanoids.
Have you learned a lot from other artists in the communities?
Actually, I have. I picked up a lot of color theory by just watching the guy who used to do the Ask Picamina blog. Picamina Diam Pie, I think it was, the Psycho Pinkie Pie. Mm-hmm. And regardless of the subject, when you go through his Deviant Art, his work with color is absolutely amazing. I'm learning a lot from Aphex and Shinzum and a few others, and it's just pick it up and little pieces here and there and how they do things.
I believe that was Crooked Trees, right? That did the...
Yes, Crooked Trees. He's absolutely phenomenal with color. I wish I was that good with color.
How have ponies affected your life outside of art?
I relate to my grandkids really well, and my nieces and nephews. And I take a lot of ribbing from some people in my age group, but I give it right back, so it's not that bad.
Oh, interesting. Let me talk to you a little bit about your jobs and hobbies outside of art. What are some of the things that you do?
I'm heavily involved with the SCA, which is Society for Creative Anachronism. We go out in full armor and beat on each other a little bit. We do lifesteal demonstrations, which means we use real swords that are really sharp, and we pretend to have mock fights. We're very coordinated, and safety is the number one key. And you have to gauge the weight of your blows against your opponent, because if you go overstretch or do it too hard, somebody's going to get hurt. I do a lot of costuming, mostly steampunk and cosplay for a lot of friends of mine. I do some stuff made to order. My job is actually website design, database design, and hosting websites on my dedicated server. So that takes up a lot of my time.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the websites that you run?
My personal ones or the ones that I do for clients?
Why not both? As much as you can tell us, anyway.
Yeah, there's some things about the client websites which I can't talk about because professional disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them I host. Some of them are just meeting places. Some of them are forum boards. Others are just static websites. Others are little things where they want to display, hey, these are our photo albums, or this is what con we're planning, yada, yada, yada. And sometimes it's a challenge. Other times it's a really big headache because their color schemes make my eyes bleed. But it's made to order to the client, and I don't try to enforce my own sense of aesthetics on them. My personal websites are 2 role-playing websites that I run personally. One is for Old World of Darkness, and one is for New World of Darkness. They are Requiem of Dreams and Dark Providence. Both of them are getting ready to open in July. I had to shut them down temporarily because of problems with staff.
Okay. What's it like to be running role-playing sites?
It's actually pretty entertaining. You run into a lot of personalities. Right now, between the 2 sites, I have a staff of over 40 volunteers because you can't pay anyone. It's in the user agreement for fan sites because basically they are fan sites by the publisher. And you're not allowed to accept any kind of monetary gain from it, and you can't pay people to actually work on them, which really, a lot of these people really should be paid. They moderate the sites, and we all run stories. And the whole basis of this is this ST or storyteller, DM, Dungeon Master, whatever you want to call them. Mm-hmm. They create a world collaboratively between them that the players make characters and play in. Now, sometimes concepts will fit, sometimes they won't. And the remarkable thing about personalities is a lot of people, they try to fit. Sometimes I try a little bit too hard. And then there's the ones who try to be unique snowflakes. They want to be the most special person in the world, and they don't want to change for anything. But it's a lot of fun to actually play because you're interacting with a wide array of people. My server itself right now between these 2 sites have somewhere around 90,000 users. So there's a lot of players to deal with, and with that many personalities, there is conflicts every now and again, and we have to mediate between that. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but usually it works out for the better.
Would you recommend tabletop role-playing, that sort of stuff? Would you recommend that to people who haven't tried it, and why?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Not only does it force you to interact with those around you, but it makes you sit and you think about cause and effect, and you can make some really good friends. There's one person that I met somewhere around, oh God, it's been nearly 20 years now while I was playing. And we have kept in contact over the last 20 years, and we still play together, and it's just really fun. His wife and I get along real well.
Oh, great. Moving on from the role-playing stuff, do you have any future projects that you're excited about?
Yes, actually I do. Recently, we have been gearing up for our very own radio station to offer hosting to other people so they can have their own personal radio station. And the flagship, the show Clients What Is Available, is going to be running several different radio shows, music shows, talk shows, and things with assorted radio personalities, which I think will display a wide variety of things.
What's the name of the station going to be?
It's going to be Deviant Zero, I can't talk, Deviant Zero Radio. It's, of course, tied to the company name. And I've been working on this for several years because of all the legal entanglements, because if I want to allow people to play music on this, I have to buy the licensing. And that means dealing with producers and distribution and recording companies. And they want a lot of money.
Why make a radio station? Why did you want to do that?
Basically to share a lot of the experiences and get information out there and interact, even if passively, with other people in the various fandoms and communities that are out there, because the role-playing community it's worldwide and it's huge. The Brody community is taking off, and they're garnering a lot of notice, both good and bad lately, but it's very welcoming. and I want to do something to help out and spread things. And then there's music. I love music. Music should be shared.
Why satellite radio?
Because on that platform, it will be available to a wider amount of people, whether or not they're actually at home. I don't know how many people actually listen to FM AM radio anymore. Most of it's satellite, even built into these new edition cars that have been coming out the last couple of decades.
Okay. And it's going to be available on Sirius AM, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a wavelength or something that you have to tune into when you get on there, or do you just flip to the channel?
We haven't worked out that much of the details yet. I can't go into too much detail, but we are working out a contract with Sirius Radio for our various radio shows and be able to broadcast along their band.
All right.
As well as the normal internet bands.
So can you tell me a little bit about the programming, what we can expect from Deviant Zero?
From the flagship station, we're going for extreme variety. There's going to be a very eclectic taste in music because the people who are volunteering to help me out with this and run their shows on the station have a lot of different tastes in music. And there's only 3 artists I can guarantee you will never hear on my station because I'm not allowed to play them.
And who are they?
Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, and Justin Bieber.
Ah.
For some odd reason, they don't want us playing them, and that was easy enough for me to agree with.
Tell me a little bit about the Brony show that you're going to have on there.
The Brony show is going to be run by a very nice individual, Periwinkle. He does the Stephen Magnet Daring Do Tumblrs, and he's going to be doing a 3-hour segment. It's going to be broken up to 3 days a week, an hour each time, and he's going to do music, interviews, and talking about the Brony community.
Okay. Is there anything else that you think that Bronies can look forward to from Deviant Zero?
We are probably going to be helping out with a couple of fan projects. We haven't signed any contract agreements yet, so I'm not at liberty to say which ones, but we're hoping to promote some of the fandom and some of the projects that are out there that deserve some more notice, including even if it's just fan fiction. Some of the musicians out there are absolutely phenomenal, and they deserve a little bit more notice than they're actually getting. So we're going to try and promote some of that.
All right, excellent. A couple of closing questions I have here for you. What has been your favorite project that you've ever worked on?
My favorite project ever has to be an old role-playing site that I was involved in several years ago called Ordonunks. It was my first experience with the administration side of running a website as a person dealing with the users, and it was a trial by fire, but I have very fond memories of it.
All right. And was there anything else that you're working on currently that you can tell us about that we didn't go over so far?
There are the updates to my personal Tumblrs, some of the artwork that I'm trying to release, and some fan projects that I've got feelers out for to see if they need any help legally or what, because with this new CISPA thing getting ready to hit, everyone's got a little edgy, and they kind of need to be.
How will CISPA affect you and possibly the Brony community, in your opinion?
CISPA in its extreme form, which more than likely is going to happen at some point in time before someone smacks it down, if it does pass, will be the death knell of many fan sites. Because whether or not the characters you're using are OCs or not, it comes from the intellectual property belonging to someone else, and CISPA will give them the right to tell you to shut down, demand that it be closed, and steal the rights to your character. And in addition to that, it gives them the right to monitor you and your activities online indefinitely.
It's not a big fan?
Not a big fan. It takes Big Brother to the extreme. It's like SOPA on steroids.
Okay. And I think the final thing that I wanted to ask you today is, what advice would you want to give to other artists? And also, what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs who might want to kind of follow your example?
For entrepreneurs, go to Kickstarter. They've got a lot of ideas on how to get you started. Ask around with professionals in your area. Most of them will help you out, or at least give you a starting point to check into. It takes time. You're going to need lots and lots of patience. And sadly, it will take money, which you will have to save and make do until you can afford the really good stuff. There's a lot of red tape out there to weave your way in and out, but once you learn how to, or get some guidance on how to, it becomes a lot easier, and it protects not only yourself, but anyone who may work with you or for you. For artists, take criticism in the spirit it was given. Sometimes people are just trying to help and not trying to be a troll. And again, it will take time and to refine what you've got, if you've got any talent. And if you don't, it just takes time and practice to get to where you want to be. Lots and lots of practice, because fine motor control, small movements, experience accounts for a lot.
All right.
So take advice, give advice sometimes, but try to be nice about it.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's all I have here for you today, Succubus. Was there anything else you'd like to leave viewers with?
I think I'm good. Everybody knows. Everybody pretty much knows how my attitude is.
Do you have maybe a possible release date on when we'll see Deviant Zero?
Deviant Zero will be undergoing its complete makeover and should be up and running by July 1st at noon Pacific Standard Time. I'll be opening up to taking new web hosting packages, and I'm fairly cheap in comparison to most of my competitors, because a basic static website, come on, $5 a month? Hey. And it goes up if you want me to design your website for you, so at least a couple hundred, because coding and my time, I know how much it's worth.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you that I look forward to it, and I'm sure many of my viewers do. Succubus, thank you for coming on and being on the show today.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.